This just in. Something truly unexpected has happened right here at home. Against all odds, a dragon fruit cactus has been grown from a tiny seed right on my windowsill. It started as a simple experiment, just a handful of seeds from a store-bought fruit tucked into some soil. It took 2.5 years, but the cactus is now standing tall and proud, a testament to patience and care. Every stage was an adventure, filled with surprises, setbacks, and wins. There were moments when I thought it wouldn't make it, but each new sprout brought hope. I never thought a store-bought fruit would lead to such a long journey. It's amazing how something so ordinary can spark such an extraordinary experience. Growing a dragon fruit cactus from seed isn't something you hear about every day. Most people buy mature plants, but starting from scratch is a whole different story. Yet, here I am, watching this spiky plant stretch toward the light, reaching higher with every passing month. It feels like a small miracle each time I see a new segment appear. Each fresh growth is a reminder of nature's resilience and wonder. Friends and family were amazed. They couldn't believe that a tiny black seed could become such a striking plant. They watched as a simple seed turned into a real cactus, witnessing the transformation from start to finish. Some even started their own pots, inspired by this green success story. It's contagious. Once you see it happen, you want to try it yourself. The journey was not just about gardening, but about patience, hope, and nature's magic. It taught me to appreciate the slow, steady progress of growth. So, let's dive into how a single dragon fruit seed grew into a thriving plant, and what this journey taught me about nurturing life from the very beginning. Anyone can try it. With a little patience, anything can sprout. All it takes is a bit of curiosity, some care, and the willingness to watch something amazing unfold. Dragon fruit, also known as pitaya, is a tropical fruit that immediately stands out thanks to its vibrant, almost neon pink skin, and its striking white flesh speckled with tiny black seeds. It's a fruit that looks as if it belongs in a magical world, not just on your kitchen table. Its appearance is so unique and eye-catching that it often steals the spotlight from other fruits, making it a centerpiece in any fruit bowl. The plant itself is actually a type of cactus, which means it thrives in warm, sunny environments, and can even be grown indoors if you have a bright spot. What truly sets dragon fruit apart, though, is not just its dramatic appearance, but also its sweet, subtle flavor and refreshing texture. It's a treat for both the eyes and the taste buds. I first discovered dragon fruit while browsing the produce section at a local supermarket, surrounded by more familiar fruits. Its unusual, almost alien look instantly caught my attention and made me curious to try it. I couldn't help but wonder if its taste would be as fascinating as its appearance suggested. After finally tasting it, I was completely hooked. The flavor was mild, slightly sweet, and incredibly refreshing. The combination of the gentle sweetness and the satisfying crunch of the seeds made it a real treat. But what really excited me was the idea of growing my own dragon fruit plant from scratch, starting with just a few seeds. Growing a dragon fruit cactus at home is a unique experience for many reasons, especially compared to more common houseplants. Unlike most houseplants, which tend to stay small and leafy, dragon fruit starts as a tiny, delicate sprout and gradually transforms into a thick, tall, and impressive cactus. It's not just a plant, but a living sculpture that changes and grows in dramatic ways every month, adding a sense of excitement to your home. If you're patient and lucky, the plant can even reward you with stunning white flowers and, eventually, its own fruit, right in your living room. This uniqueness and the promise of something extraordinary made me eager to try growing it myself. I wanted something different from the usual flowers or herbs, something that would truly stand out and spark conversation. I hoped the process of growing dragon fruit would be as fascinating as the plant itself, and it definitely turned out to be an adventure worth taking. Planting the seeds was the start of my journey. I cut open a ripe dragon fruit and scooped out some seeds with a spoon. The seeds are tiny, smaller than sesame seeds. I rinsed them under water to remove the sticky pulp. Then, I placed them on a paper towel to dry for a day. Once dry, I filled a small pot with cactus soil. The soil was light and sandy, perfect for seeds that don't like too much water. I sprinkled the seeds on top, pressing them gently into the soil with my finger. I misted the surface with water, careful not to drown them. I covered the pot with clear plastic wrap to keep in moisture. Every morning, I checked for signs of life. I made sure the soil stayed damp but not soggy. The waiting felt long, but I knew patience was key. This was the beginning of something new. Each day, I imagined tiny roots and shoots working their way through the earth, ready to break free. After about 2 weeks of careful waiting and daily watering, I finally saw the first tiny green sprouts pushing their way through the soil. It was a moment I had been anticipating, and seeing those little hints of life felt like a small miracle. They were so small, even smaller than blades of grass, almost easy to miss unless you looked closely. Their delicate size made them seem even more precious. At first, each sprout looked incredibly fragile, as if a single touch or gust of wind could topple them. But soon, more and more appeared, filling the soil with tiny green dots of hope. The thrill of seeing life emerge from the soil was truly incredible. It felt like witnessing a secret, quiet celebration of nature right in my own home. Each sprout looked like a promise of the cactus it would one day become, holding so much potential in its tiny form. As the days passed, I watched the sprouts grow thicker and a little taller, slowly gaining strength and confidence with each sunrise. The first real leaves were smooth and soft to the touch, not prickly yet. They almost looked like little green paddles, gentle and inviting. It was hard to believe that these soft, tender seedlings would someday transform into tough, spiky stems, just like the mature dragon fruit plants I admired. I made sure they had enough sunlight every day, carefully turning the pot so each sprout could grow straight and strong, reaching for the light. By the end of the first month, the seedlings started to look more like tiny cacti, their shapes becoming more defined and recognizable. They gradually lost their smooth leaves and began to show little bumps along their stems, a sign of the changes happening inside. These bumps would eventually grow into the classic ridges of a dragon fruit cactus, marking the next stage of their development. Watching them change shape day by day was absolutely fascinating. Every morning brought something new to discover. This was a stage filled with hope and growth, where every seedling represented a fresh start and a new possibility. Each seedling was a new chance, each one unique in its own way, and I found myself rooting for every single one. I began to feel a real connection to these tiny plants, as if they were becoming a part of my daily life and routine, bringing a sense of joy and purpose to each day. Not everything went smoothly. Overwatering was my first mistake. The top of the soil looked dry, so I watered too often. Soon I noticed some seedlings turning soft and brown. They were rotting from too much moisture. I learned to let the soil dry out between waterings. Pests also found my seedlings. Tiny gnats hovered around the pot. I tried to get rid of them gently, using sticky traps and letting the soil dry. Sometimes I lost a seedling or two, but most survived. It was a lesson in careful balance. Growth was slow. After the first burst of energy, the cacti seemed to take forever to grow taller. Weeks would pass with only tiny changes. It tested my patience. I often wondered if I was doing something wrong, or if the plant was just slow by nature. Every challenge taught me more about the plant and myself. I learned that growing from seed requires attention, adaptability, and lots of hope. The journey was full of emotions. At first there was excitement, watching the seeds sprout and imagining a cactus standing tall on my windowsill. Every new leaf or segment felt like a small victory. It was amazing to help something come to life with just a little care. But sometimes, I felt frustrated by slow growth or setbacks. When seedlings died or stopped growing, I worried I had failed. I learned to accept that not every plant would survive. Each loss made the survivors feel even more special. There were moments of surprise too. One day, a seedling doubled in size almost overnight after a sunny weekend. Another time, a new stem appeared when I thought the plant had stopped growing. These small surprises kept me going. In the end, the journey was about more than just the plant. It was about learning patience and appreciating slow change. Watching the cactus grow made every day feel like a small adventure. Caring for the dragon fruit cactus was a lesson in balance. The plant needed lots of sunlight, so I placed it near a south-facing window. Too little light made it pale and stretched. Too much could burn its delicate skin. I turned the pot weekly to keep the growth even. Water was tricky. The cactus liked the soil to dry out completely before the next drink. I learned to feel the soil with my finger. If it was dry an inch down, it was time to water. Too much water caused rot, so I used a pot with drainage holes. As the plant grew, it needed more room. I repotted it twice, first into a bigger pot, then into a deep container to support its roots. Each time, I used fresh cactus mix to keep the soil light and airy. Repotting was nerve-wracking, but the plant always bounced back. These care steps were simple, but doing them regularly made all the difference. The right mix of sun, water, and soil helped the cactus thrive. Over 2.5 years, the changes were remarkable. At first, the plant was small and round, barely 2 inches tall. After 6 months, it started growing upright, forming long, 3-sided stems. The new growth was bright green and soft, but it soon became tougher and spikier. Each year brought new changes. The stems thickened, and tiny spines began to form along the ridges. The cactus grew taller, reaching for the window light. I sometimes tied it to a small stake to keep it straight. It started to look like the dragon fruit cacti I saw in photos from tropical farms. The transformation was not just in size, but in character. The plant developed a personality, sometimes growing fast, sometimes taking a long pause. I saw how time and care could turn a single seed into a real cactus, ready for the outside world. Watching the cactus grow made me appreciate nature's slow magic. Every new stem was a reward for patience and care. Growing a dragon fruit cactus from seed taught me more than I expected. It was a lesson in patience, hope, and the power of small beginnings. Not every seed sprouted, and not every sprout survived, but the journey was worth every challenge. I learned to celebrate each success, no matter how small. The main lesson is that anyone can do this. You don't need fancy tools or a greenhouse, just patience, sunlight, and a little care. Mistakes will happen, but plants are forgiving. Watching a tiny seed become a cactus is one of the most rewarding things I've ever done. For anyone thinking about trying this, I say go for it. Start with a few seeds, give them light and time, and enjoy the adventure. You'll learn about nature and about yourself. And who knows, you might even get fruit one day. Try planting something new. The journey is slow, but the results are worth every moment.